Okay, so best as I can remember, this is how the homily went. Naaman the Syrian and the king of Israel and the people in the synagogue at Nazareth all have a related issue, is they know how they expect God to act and they are not prepared for him to act differently. Naaman is told to wash in the River Jordan and he doesn't see the point. They have rivers just as good at home. Fortunately, he has someone to bring him to his senses and he follows what is asked of him, and God acts in a very unexpected, at least to Naaman, way. The king of Israel doesn't trust God at all. He thinks this is just a setup. He doesn't think God is going to act. The people in the synagogue are upset because Jesus is telling them, first of all, that they're just not listening. A prophet is not without honor except in his own country. Yeah, I think I quoted that one right. And we can be too familiar with things. They can lose their specialness for us, become boring, dull, mundane. Maybe this is something we'll be able to take from this particular time of trial, that we will not be taking Mass for granted to the extent perhaps that we did. And they just are also upset when Jesus tells them, you're not listening. And so God acted in ancient times for people outside of the Jewish community, and foretelling perhaps that, prophesying would be a better word, foretelling that he is going to act in different ways in the future. Well, specifically through us, the Christian community, he also acts. We have to be careful not to pin God down and think, well, this is how God is going to act or should act. Why he is acting the way he is acting now, why he's chosen to let us experience all of the fear and difficulties and illness that are coming with this coronavirus epidemic and things that are still to come. I don't know. He doesn't consult me. He doesn't have to consult me. It's just as well that he doesn't. When you get to heaven, if you still care, you can ask him. I expect when we get to heaven, we'll either intuitively know or we just won't care. But God does know what he's doing. I know I've been saying this a lot in the past few days, but it's so important to hang on to that. I don't have a clue why God allows what he allows, but I do know we belong to him. I do know that as he did rescue Naaman, in the end, one way or another, whether in earthly terms, certainly in spiritual terms, he will rescue us. It is not for us to tell God how he should do things. It's for us to bring our questions to him, to bring our fears, our concerns, and our thanks. Make sure you're giving thanks for something every day, especially in a difficult time like this. Bring all these things to him and set back and let him work.